Yesterday, or the other day, whatever it was, Friday, we talked about algebraic expressions. All right? But today, I think we kind of alluded to this on Friday, what we're going to do today. But they're not called algebraic expressions. This time we have an equal sign in them. Do you remember what we said on Friday? Equations. That's right. So it's algebraic equations. Now, you don't see the full word in here, but what part of the word do you see in here that we're going to deal with? Equal. Equal. So what an algebraic equation has a what in it? It's got an equal sign. That's right. Okay. Equations have something equal. Okay. A is equal to B. That's an equation. Okay. If something is equal to something else, that's an equation. But let's take a look. We're going to actually find and we're going to solve for stuff. In the algebraic expressions, they told us what x was, right? They told us what a was. They told us what y and z. All that. But this time, we're actually coming up with it. We're actually finding what x is equal to. We're finding what a is equal to. Okay, we're actually solving for these variables. All right. Again, we're going to start off pretty basic. Really, this whole thing doesn't really get all that complicated, I don't think. As long as you had a half-decent understanding in Algebra 1, this shouldn't be a problem for you at all. I'm going exactly the examples in the book, so if you need to follow along, you can.
Page 11?
Yeah, it's right where it says, look, it says 05. All you got to do is look at the top where it says 05. That's what I'm on. So here it goes.
Draw a line down the sign. Add 7.
We're not going to do that anymore, okay? And in the Algebra 1,
It's easy.
let's listen, please. In Algebra 1, a lot of you guys were taught to put a line right here to kind of separate the left side and the right side. When you're first learning Algebra 1, I think that's a great idea. Okay, I got nothing wrong with that at all. But as we start going further and further in our math, you want to kind of start getting away from putting that line there. If it helps at first, it's okay. It's just not. I think you can. I think you can eventually. Listen to me. She's got a good question, but I've been answering the question. Now, all the chatting needs to stop.
No.
Cut that out right now.
Okay, just let me talk. Okay, if I got too many people explaining to the people next to them, then it just becomes too loud. All right. So here's the deal. If you want, I'm not going to mark it wrong. Okay, I'm not going to say that you can't do that. I'm just making a valuable suggestion to you. Okay, and again, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I've done this for a long time. Okay. You need to start weaning yourself off of that line. You know what I mean? Okay? Like, because it's not a grown-up math thing to do. All right? Listen to me. Shh, 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 shh. Listen to me. All right, let's pause this. Kidding me? You watch. Okay, here we go. So here we do. We want to get x by itself. So here's the basic rule. You've learned this in Algebra 1. This is just review. To get rid of something here, you always do the opposite to get rid of it. Right now it's being subtracted. How do we get rid of something that's being subtracted? We add it. Whatever you do to one side, talk to me. You got to do to the other side. See, this is all review. So watch. What happens here? They cancel out. Or they add up to 0 is what I like to say. Okay, that's what's happening. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. X plus 0 is x. And then 16 plus 7 is, what's that, 23? And then there you go. That's what I want to see. If you want to put the line, you can. But look, just mentally divide it. That equal sign divides the left side to the right side. I don't think the line through it. I think it's a help at first. But eventually, you should get away from putting that line right there. Let's do another one. I'll skip one and get to this one. That's a plus. X plus 31. Now this time it's being added. So what's the opposite of adding something? Subtracting. So that's how we get rid of something. You do the opposite to get rid of it. Man, are you getting all this? Write it down. So you subtract a 31 from both sides. All right? Look what happens. Plus 31 minus 31, they cancel each other out. So you bring down the x equals, and you do this. 10 minus 31. Add the opposite. So what is that? It's negative 21. You're going to have to learn those. I can't teach you those from scratch. We kind of went over that the other day, but you really have to learn how to do that. This is what I want to see on your paper when you're doing these problems. Write the problem, show the work, show your answer. Let's do one with some multiplication in it. What if you had this? 4d equals 36. Now this time the 4 is not adding, is it? What's it doing? It's multiplying. So what do? We always do the opposite. Right. So you divide. This is how we show division in algebra. We put a little bar here, fraction bar. That's division. We're trying to get the d by itself. We're trying to get rid of the 4, so we divide by a 4. So whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Look what happens. 4 over 4. It's being multiplied, so they cancel out. Now, they don't cancel out for the same reason as these cancel out. These add up to 0. These do what? Become a...
Irrelevant to the problem.
Well, they become a what? Somebody said it. A 1, right. A 1 times d. What's 1 times d? Is d equals. This is division, so that's 9, and there's your answer. Pretty easy so far, isn't it? Let's do one
Yeah, I never got
like this. Look, what is this 8? Forget the negative right now. What is that 8 doing to that x? Dividing. What's the opposite of dividing? Multiplying. So watch what we do. We multiply by what? An 8. That'll get rid of the 8. But we have a negative here as well, don't we?
Yeah.
I got to get rid of the negative. So if I multiply by a negative 8, negative times negative is positive. So let's multiply both sides by what? A negative 8. Now, you could put a parentheses. I know I kind of talked about not using dots, but in this case, a dot's okay. Look at this. Negative times negative is positive. The 8's cancel out. What are you left with? X equals, multiply these. Negative 7 times negative 8 is positive 56. Let me finish. I'll let you know. Let me do one more. Let me do one more before we take a question. Bell's about to ring, so I need to finish this up. Why are we packing up? We're not packing up. No, we're doing this problem. You guys need to learn how... I said, wait, we got to do this problem, and then I'll take a question. Look at this. This 3/5. What is that 3/5 doing to this x? Well, it's multiplying. All right. So you'd think you'd divide, don't you? But watch this. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'll show it to you. Just wait. My goodness. So watch what happens. They cancel out. So x is negative 40 over 3. That's the answer. Okay. So here's your homework. It's page P11. I'm sorry.
P12.
12. Sorry, it's 12. We were on 11. And we're going to do, now don't flip out on this.
Whoa. I knew it.
We're just going to do the odds. Okay, it's 1 to 35 and you're just doing the odds.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond.
That's your homework. Now, if you look at the email that I said it's going to be a worksheet. I couldn't find those worksheets, so we're going to do the problem from the books, okay? So it's right there.